Hi, I'm Carl with Apt, and this is the long-awaited Sony XBR55A1E OLED TV. Now, you may remember back around 2008, Sony made a little 11-inch screen that cost $2,500. At that point, it was the most impressive TV I had ever seen. Obviously, it was small, so I wouldn't have taken it over a 50-inch plasma for the same price, but the colors were just amazing. Well, here we are almost a decade later, and finally we have an OLED from Sony again that you can put on the wall and watch a movie on with your friends and family. Was it worth the wait? Let's take a look. We'll start by talking about the design. We saw this one at CES earlier this year, and I thought it looked pretty unique. It has an easel design, so there's a kickstand that pops out of the back to hold the TV upright if you're going to have it sitting on a piece of furniture. That's also where you're going to find all the connections. I wasn't sure if I was going to like this since it tilts the TV upwards slightly, but having had a chance to watch it for a while now, it doesn't distract from the picture at all. The stand also houses a 4-inch subwoofer, which provides decent bass. The screen is super thin itself, and then you add the stand into it, and your total depth on the 55-inch is about 3.5 inches when you have the stand closed. Now with it open, the total depth grows to about 13.5 inches, so make sure to keep that in mind if you're going to be putting this on a piece of furniture. There's almost no bezel around the screen, so you're not looking at anything except the picture, and the overall build quality seems extremely solid. This TV is not light. Sony uses a lot of metal on this set, and the hinge where the stand connects to the TV seems really sturdy as well. Now, as sturdy as this set feels, make sure you have a second person there to help you unpackage it and move it, because that can be a little awkward because of the design. Next, let's get to the fun stuff. This picture is fantastic, and with HDR and Dolby Vision added, you can get an absolutely stunning picture. The TV uses Sony's X1 Extreme processor, which debuted on the Z series TVs and translates really well to this set. It does a great job with 2K and 4K upscaling, as well as providing great contrast and grayscale management. You don't lose all the detail in dark scenes like you can sometimes see with OLED sets, and banding is almost completely eliminated. Another nice feature they include and tweak a little bit is the pixel shifting. Instead of shifting the whole image on the screen, it only applies shifting to the areas of the TV that it detects might be a problem spot, so your whole picture isn't moving around on the screen, and you have a much lower risk of burn-in. Viewing angles on this set, as you may have guessed, are also extremely wide. That's one of the other nice features of OLED TVs. Now, we get a lot of questions on the brightness of these TVs we review as well. This TV is supposed to be about 25% brighter this year than last year's consumer OLED TVs, which were around 500 nits. At the moment, we don't have a light meter to measure this scientifically, but I will say that this TV is bright enough to look good in both really dark rooms as well as rooms with some light coming in. We'll actually put one of our studio lights on it so you can kind of see the effect that a light will have on the screen to give you a better idea. All the video that we've viewed on this set so far has looked really good. The 1080 stuff that we're used to watching on most of our broadcasts looked clean, as did all of the 4K content we watched. Motion was also good. To me, it felt more like watching a plasma than an LED, so I was really happy about that. Still not as good as a plasma as far as I'm concerned, but not much we can do about that now, is there? The next big thing I want to address has been a problem for almost every LED set that's been released over the last 4 or 5 years, and Sony's figured out a clever way to address it. That's the sound quality. They use this screen as an acoustic surface. There's 2 actuators connected to the back of the TV that vibrate the glass on the front to produce sound. We actually saw a similar concept to this in one of Sony's speakers they released last year, the LSP-XS1, and it works really well with this TV. You can crank it all the way to 100% and you don't see the screen moving at all. Having the subwoofer built into the stand helps out a lot with this, as the actuators can focus on the mids and highs and not have to worry about excessive vibration on the screen from the subwoofer. With the sound coming out of the glass, it gives it a more realistic feel too, like the vocals are actually coming out of the actors' mouths on the screen. Now, does this mean you can throw away your surround sound system and just use the TV? The short answer is no. This is providing great sound for what it is, but the quality of the sound doesn't really match the quality of the picture. Anyone buying this TV is really going to want it to be the centerpiece of a nice home theater system. Now, getting back to the back of the set, this is where you'll find all your inputs. This TV has 4 HDMI inputs that are all HDCP 2.2 and CEC compliant, and input number 3 has an audio return channel. There's also a composite input, as well as an Ethernet and 3 USB inputs, so you get plenty of space to plug things in. You also get an optical audio output, so you can hook this up to a sound system, and you can switch from input to input through the Sony remote control. It's the same remote that you're going to find on the other XBR sets, and it's functional. It's nothing super fancy, but it has all the essential controls. You get a Google Play and a Netflix button to give you easy access to a couple of the popular smart features, and the remote also has a microphone built in with voice control, which I will say Sony does a great job with. It has no problem translating what I'm saying to the TV at all. I'm not sure if everyone's going to have exactly the same results, but from my testing, it's been really good. Touching back on the smart features a little bit, this runs on the Android operating system, so it integrates well with Android smart devices, but you can also cast things to the TV from an iOS device as well, so that's a nice touch. I've honestly been looking at the TV trying to find any imperfections, and the only thing I've come up with so far is the way that it tilts slightly back when you're using it on a stand. But even with that slight tilt back, I didn't find that it was really taking away from the picture at all. I suppose if you have lights in your ceiling and they're on while you're watching it, you may wind up getting a slight reflection from those, but otherwise it didn't have nearly the effect that I thought it was going to. Now, it's not as bright and doesn't have quite the same contrast as the Z series TVs from Sony, but the blacks look better and the viewing angle is better also, so it does have some advantages over Sony's flagship set. I'm really happy Sony decided to step back into OLED. Their color processing lends itself really well to the technology, and with this TV being so good, it sets a really high bar for their future products. It's exciting to think about what might be next. So what does everybody think? Has anyone had a chance to see this set in person yet? Make sure to let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe, because now that there's some OLED competition, we'll be doing some side-by-side videos so that you can see what they look like next to each other. As always, thank you for watching, and don't forget to like this video and stay tuned to see all the cool stuff we have here at Apt.